Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video. This is another paid request, this time for I Hate Facebook. Thank you for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, randomness, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the return of Swamp Thing from 1989. Now, this is a film I've seen once before, and I wasn't really big on it. I just watched it a second time. I'm a little bit warmed up to it. I would say if I have to think about it, it would be better than the Wes Craven film, because at the very least the monster, the title, looks better. The makeup effects look better. The Swamp Thing in the Wes Craven's film, and I love Wes Craven, but I was not much a fan of Swamp Thing. I don't know if I really hated it, but the suit looked really weak. It looked like just like green spandex with a little bit of funky shit on it. It just did not look good at all. I don't know, just weird reactions from my head when I think of that coming out of my puckered lips. I'm like, you stayed to the puckered asshole. That design, just that effects work just got awful the first Swamp Thing. I'm like, this is the same year as John Carpenter's The Thing and Metro Wolf in London had come out before. I mean, I'm just going to say there's no excuse for the suit to be that shitty looking. That's just my opinion. I mean, I don't know if that would hawk it as a valuable asset on the Star Trek TV show back in the day. But I thought this suit was a much better design, much better looking suit. And the film's directed by Jim Wynorski, who does a lot of films, a lot of them under pseudonyms. But there's only a handful of films of his I like. My favorite is Choppy Mall. I do quite enjoy Choppy Mall. I think that's an entertaining, very fun B-movie. These robot security machines that watch over a shopping mall, and Johnny Five light, short circuit light, go crazy, electricity, but then they start killing people. Johnny Five didn't start killing people, he just wanted to be alive and hop like a cricket and grasshopper, should say. Here, or on Chopping Mall, they just wanted to blow your head up and go, have a nice day. I recommend Chopping Mall for people who haven't seen it. But this, it's okay. I mean, it's got Dick Durock, who was in the suit in the first film. He was also in the suit in the Swamp Thing TV show that was, I believe, on USA. Lasted, I want to say, 3 seasons, around 70 episodes. Now, it's not his voice. It is his body. I don't know who did his voice. There's no info on that. And a piece of trivia, I don't know if this is true, but there's a piece of trivia that said that the director and Dick Durock did not know that the voice was changed until much too late in the game. I'm like, well, that's a bit weird, because, I mean, it's the director, so someone went over the director's head. And I know this sounds stupid, and I'm sure it's not true at all, but I swear the voice sounds like Lee Majors, slightly altered. Maybe I'm thinking that because Lee Majors was with Heather Locklear at the time, and Heather Locklear's the star of this, and I'm just thinking because, again, they were an item. Lee Majors from the $6 Million Man and stuff. But I don't know. I mean, if you change the voice a little bit, it sounds... I don't know who it is, but for some reason, maybe remind me a bit of Lee Majors. But other people in the film, Heather Locklear, Sarah Douglas, who was in Superman 2, technically a big role in Superman 1. She was the female villain Kryptonian. You have Louis Jourdan, who was the villain in the first movie. He comes back as Arcane. They don't really explain how he's alive and how he's human. I mean, Swamp Thing does say that he did kill him before. But again, why he... Because in the first film, he turned to a monster and then he died, got stabbed with swords. But somehow he turned back to being human and somehow he's alive. Again, there's no explanation. I mean, I would have preferred a... Just Louis Jourdan, I mean, he's fine, but it would have been nice to see a different villain. Like who they could have cast as a villain. With all the actors of the 80s, there's a lot of possibilities that could have been. I mean, whether it be... I'm just throwing random names. A Brad Dourif, a Clancy Brown, a Michael Ironside, just a variety of names that could have been put into that. But, again, Arcane is alive and human, and don't know why. Heather Locklear plays the guy's stepdaughter. She has arrived, wondering what happened to her mom. Her mom died under mysterious circumstances. Now, I will say the movie starts off decent enough. You have this leech-like creature, decent makeup effects for a low budget in the 80s. Again, leech-like face. And Swamp Thing beats the hell out of it, saves the guy. And this is where you get the inclination, this is much more of a goofier movie. It's much more of a campier movie. Now, I've never read the Swamp Thing comics. I would assume maybe fans would be a bit upset because I would assume Swamp Thing is a bit more of a serious comic. I guess I only assume because I look at the way of the drawings and the artwork, and they don't stream out camp. Granted, the title does, but I just, Jim Wynorski wanted to go in a different direction. Let's have a bit of fun with this. And again, I would say it is a better movie than the first one. It's more of an easier watch. Like I said, at least the makeup effects are better. At least the title character is a bit stronger. He seems like he has a bit more fighting, a bit more maybe comfortable in the action with the suit involved. I mean, I don't know if I say it has more fighting, because there's a little bit of Swamp Thing taking care of the bad guys in the first movie as well. So I don't know if it would say it has more action, more fighting, but this is definitely more camp appeal. I mean, Heather Locklear loves plants, and she says a line, when you stroke a plant, they don't get the wrong idea, and why she prefers plants over people. You also have the addition of these two kids. I forget their names. I wouldn't say the kids are giving good performances, but the way they act with each other and interact with each other, and they're busting each other's balls, they may not be good, but they're still entertaining. There's a joy, there's a little bit of charm, innocence to these two kids, and the way they interact with each other was kind of fun. That was kind of entertaining to see. To the point that a part of me kind of wondered maybe the movie would have been better if it was just Swamp Thing and the kids. Because the Heather Locklear stuff, it's just that we've already seen a Swamp Thing with a love story backdrop in the first Swamp Thing. So it's like, okay, now he's falling in love with another girl, only this girl is much more into plans and much, again, goofier. But it's okay, we've already seen that. At least with the kids, that would have been a little bit of a different direction. And like I said, the kids worked well with each other. That maybe would have been actually nice to see a bit more of them. Because they pop in every once in a while. But it's just like with Heather Locklear, it's okay, we've seen this. And I mean, Heather Locklear, she's not the best actress, and I definitely say Adrienne Barbeau was better in the first movie. I would say Adrienne Barbeau gave a better performance. So I don't know, I just like, okay, we're doing this again. It just felt like redundancy. I guess that's the best way to put it. again, she goes off to meet with her stepdad. Meanwhile, these kids, at one point, they're alone. They're trying to, find some magazines one of their dads had, and they do find some, and then there's a knock on the door, they open it, there's a monster, that leech monster, Again, the way they interact, they had a fun back and forth with each other. They made a decent team. And then you have the fight with Swamp Thing and the leech with these poles. Granted, the fight's just too brief. I mean, I would like to have seen the Swamp Man himself, get a bit more of a beating onto the villain. Punch him, throw him through windows, throw him through the car window, kick, wrestling moves, I don't know, just a lot more fisticuffs action, or hitting him in the head with the pole, or it just felt like too brief of a fight. Just felt too brief of a fight, and really he didn't do much damage and hits onto the Leech Man. It's raining. Pretty much it's just Swamp Thing. Spoiler alert, I guess I mentioned spoilers. He dodges. The Leech Man hits the stuff, explodes. Leech gets on fire, jumps to the water, and explodes. So in a way, the Leech Man just killed himself out of being stupid. Yeah, it would have been nice if Swamp Thing beat the shit out of it. And, then he's the one that made... I don't know. I just maybe they're like, well, you can't have Swamp Thing blow it up because, oh, look how he blew up all this. Well, he didn't do it. It was the villain do it. I can understand that idea. So I'll let that go. Because you don't want Swamp Thing to be the cause of all these cars and perhaps homes being gone. But, I mean, at least let him get a few punches and hits in with the pole. A few more. Probably one of the charming and his camp bits is the kids giving the thumbs up and then Swamp Thing giving the thumbs up back. That's what I mean. I kind of wish there was more of this. The kids either trailing Swamp Thing and they're watching Swamp Thing fight, and doesn't mean you have to make it kidified, but just that seemed just more appealing than the Heather Locklear story. Honestly. Like these two hillbillies hit on her. They hit on her. I do like her answer when they're like, who knows you're here? Who knows I'm here? FBI, Charles Bronson, the Chicago Bears. And it goes for Swamp Thing saves her. She instantly falls in love with him because she likes plants, and he even goes, I'm a plant. And she's like, well, I'm a vegetarian. And just, I don't know, she's instantly in love, not supposed to look that deep into it. She wants to make love to Swamp Thing, and even Swamp Thing's looking like, how fucking crazy is this bitch? She must be on shrooms. If she's not on shrooms, I'm going to give her this drug, you could be on some more shrooms. And then she has this weird love scene where she does, but she doesn't. In her mind, she has sex with a guy who looks like a model for Calvin Klein, or ready to be in the bodybuilding federation with Lex Luger. But then it'll fade away and she's just sitting there as if she's meditating, so she even goes, was that real? Or like, was it as real as you want it to be? I'm like, that's definitely I guess they didn't want a love scene with the actual suits. But then the person said, well, why are we doing the love thing again? Like, there's other stories of Swamp Thing than just the love story. I mean, if there was no Swamp Thing 1, okay, but it's like, we've already seen that. So that's what I mean, that's kind of one of my big issues, is that I would have just seen more action, or more fights, or more of what Swamp Thing can do with his powers, or what more of this, more of that, than, or even more with the kids. Heather Locklear, the love story is like, eh. Wah, wah, wah. Just when the little fights do happen, okay, Like Swamp Thing saves the kids. Like the best parts is with him and the kids. Him find the leech guy and the kids give him the thumbs up. Or the kids want to take a picture and these assholes worked with Arcane have baseball bats. Really rough the kids up and Swamp Thing goes in, kicks their ass using their own baseball bats. I'm like, yeah, this stuff is like fun. This stuff is campy, goofy, but you know, fun in its charm. And again, the kids, the way they interact with Swamp Thing, the way they talk to him, the way they talk to each other. While again, they're not grade A acting school, but there's still a bit of a charm to it. It's just, I want to see more of that, less Heather Locklear. And that's nothing just Heather Locklear. I don't hate Heather Locklear. It's just her stuff was kind of the least interesting. Even though she's a beautiful lady. Not this love story again. But there are bits I like, not just with the Swamp Thing and the kids, but like when Arcane is showing these other little experiments, there's like a cockroach type of guy, and you get some pretty neat makeup effects there. Sadly, not too many throughout the film. Arcane has this henchman, and him and this woman are comparing stars, like it was a scene from Jaws. Well, I got this from this. I got this from this. I got this from the Motley Crue tour. that was kind of fun. Which is funny, that did a comedic point of that before Kevin Smith did in Chasing Amy. And of course, they also compare stars in Lethal Weapon 3 as well. But before all those, it was Jaws. And I actually liked the voice of Swamp Thing in this. That's why, again, I don't know if it was Lee Majors. I know this is a stupid guess, but maybe it's one of those where Heather Locklear talked to someone, or maybe Lee Majors said, hey, my wife's doing this, can I do something? Well, we can't tell you who you are because, you know, we'll get sued by the union, or, well, it's anonymous. Shh. Don't say it's me. Just, you know, say whoever. You know, hey, I don't know. I'm just saying, if it ever came out as Lee Majors, I wouldn't be surprised. The ending, I do think the ending to the first film was a bit more, despite the cheap effects, a bit more satisfying than the fact that you have your hero, your villain, have a sword fight in the middle of the swamp. Among other stuff, I think that's not the best execution, but I like that idea. Here, it's fighting, I don't know what the hell you call this guy. It's a guy that's been changed, and he's got a head that looks like a light bulb. Light bulb man. And he punches a few times, throws the guy. There's super spoilers, of course. There's the henchman, there's a grenade, fuck you, goodbye. And Arcane, something just lands on his leg and he's just stuck there. And he's just kind of just watching Swamp Thing walk away. With this look on his face like, why did I do this movie? Because that's another thing I've heard, is that at one point the director wanted him, Louis Jourdan, to call this woman Points. And it's like, I'm not going to do that because that's about her breasts. And then Jim Wynorski says something to the effect of, wait a minute, weren't you just in a movie called Octopussy? And apparently Louis Jourdan did not talk to the director for the rest of the shoot. I mean, to be fair, Jim Wynorski has a point. You were in a film called Octopussy. I don't know why no one who thought of that title thought, Octopussy? Like, no one's thinking what I'm thinking? Do you think what I think? Do you hear what I hear? I don't want to think about Octopus Pussy. James Bond versus Octopus Pussy. That'd be a fight I don't want to see. And then the house is blown up. This didn't feel that big of an ending. And then, you know, he rejuvenates her. She's happy. The side effects, she has like a flower coming out of her foot. But she's happy because she loves plants. She'll be happy. And it gives Swamp Thing a happy ending. Goes off to the sunset. And the kids, during the credits, cuts back to them. They didn't have any film in the camera. That's what I mean. They don't appear much. They appear 4 or 5 times. And I don't know. I would just prefer seeing more of them and less of the love story. And maybe they didn't have the budget, but it would have been nice to, I don't know, get a bit of that PM Entertainment. Because that's a low budget company, PM Entertainment, and they have action films that have wall-to-wall action. And it's like, well, how the hell did they do that? There you go. See the PM Entertainment version of Swamp Thing. Maybe that's the movie I want. I want the PM Entertainment version of Swamp Thing. That would be some crazy shit. Guy in the Swamp Thing outfit, and he's like jumping onto helicopters and 85 cars flipping over. If you don't know what PM Entertainment is, look them up. Not every film is a winner, but there's a lot of fun action in that stuff. But with this, the campy, goofy aspect didn't bother me. Maybe because I didn't grow up with Swamp Thing. I didn't read the comics, so I don't have a skin in the game, as they call it. I don't have a dog in the fight, as they call it. But the movie, it was a time waster at the end of the day. It was a time waster. Above average, I would say, because at least Swamp Thing himself looked good. At least tongue-in-cheek quality, I think, made it a bit more approachable for an audience. Granted, this film didn't do much, but I think in retrospect, you know, the idea of Swamp Thing, a lot of people roll their eyes about, and the movie kind of does too. I mean, hell, it starts off with a credit scene showing comic book covers, and the song is "Born on a Bayou," dun, dun, you know, "Born on a Bayou," which I thought was a nice way to open it. Again, either wishing they had a bigger budget, do a bit more with the action, a bit more monsters, a bit more fighting, make the ending a bit bigger, a bit larger. Less of the love story, more of the kid stuff. I think I would like the film more. But as it is, I would say since the last time I watched it, I warmed up to it a bit more. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.